So what if I gave you $100 million? What would you do with that? Would you pay off your debt? Would you buy your dream home? Would you go on the most extravagant vacation? Maybe there's a dream car you always had your mind on. Or shoot, for $100 million, maybe dream cars that you had your mind on. With $100 million, your possibilities are almost endless. Here's the catch. In this hypothetical situation, you get the 100 mil, but you only got 5 hours to live. Would you still take it? Probably not. But why? I believe it's because we all know that when it comes down to it, there really are some things that are more valuable than money. It's like the old saying goes, all the money in the world will never buy you back a second of time. Whether we're looking at the time example, or health, or relationships, I think we can all come up with some things that we know are more important than money. Let me add one to the list, purpose. Hear me out. When we take the time to reflect and think on the meaning of life, what motivates us to do what we do, and all the other things that drive us, I think we come back to this idea of purpose. And I don't think that's by mistake. So hi, I'm Desmond Davis with Davis Inspired Solutions, and I want to give you 5 reasons why purpose matters more than the paycheck. Starting with number 1, and that's our motivation and our drive. So let me be clear. When I'm talking about purpose over paycheck, I'm talking about this idea of pushing towards jobs, careers, and opportunities that are more aligned with your purpose instead of always chasing after the thing that pays more. Studies have shown that walking in purpose unlocks a whole new type of motivation. It's a creative motivation. Creative motivation is where some of our best ideas come from. It's built off of our values and our beliefs. Now let me pause for a quick second. I'd be a fool if I didn't take time to acknowledge the fact that sometimes life circumstances has us in a place where all we can focus on is chasing the bag right now. Sometimes we'll find ourselves in seasons where all we can commit ourselves to is work. Bills need to get paid. Sometimes we're just getting by, and we may not be in the space and situation to chase purpose. However, it's really important to also acknowledge that there may never be a perfect or ideal time to pivot to a purposeful mindset. There are some times where you have to take a chance. Can I be vulnerable for a second? When I was coming out of high school, I had every intention to play football at the next level. Whether that was Division 1, 2, or 3 didn't really matter to me. I just knew I really wanted to play ball. I was really fortunate and blessed to have 2 loving and supportive parents and a really supportive community in my hometown. Shout out to the Menneson Greyhounds and church community. Salute to the Newness of Life family. As I got closer to my senior year, I started to focus in more on the Division 3 level of football. I had my plan together, and I got to do some college visits. There was one school that I visited that really felt like home for me. And before everything was said and done, I knew that's where I wanted to go. So after some discussion and a whole car breakdown fiasco that I'll tell you about later, I got accepted into the school that I wanted to attend. The summer after graduating high school was here. I was ready to kick back and enjoy life before my freshman year of college. Little did I know I was going to run into some issues. I get to play in this local all-star football game. And you know, I'm doing my thing, having fun, but then I get hurt. I mean, really hurt. I tear my ACL, and my summer is basically over. To make matters worse, a week later, I lose my dad. I'm not sharing this with you for sympathy's sake. The reality was, the summer was coming to an end, and I had a decision to make. After the loss that hit me, my family, and my community, I had to decide if I was still gonna chase after this college thing. I could stay home and play it safe, take some time to reevaluate, reflect, reconsider my options, but I didn't do that. I knew for me that if I would have stayed, I would have been walking away from purpose. And so, scared, hurt, kinda lonely, I left my home. I left my town. I left the state and embarked on a college experience that challenged me, that grew me, that pushed me into the direction of purpose. If I would have stayed home, I probably wouldn't have met the love of my life. I probably don't go into the career that I did that's bringing me in front of you right now. So many things probably would have been different. And so for you, I believe things probably aren't all that easy. But I just want to encourage you to take some purposeful chances. And they don't even have to be big chances or big risks. I want you to take some purposeful micro chances. These can be things like taking a class that piques your interest, maybe budgeting a little differently to invest in a hobby, taking some of that downtime and studying up on a topic that you feel and believe will give you some insight on your next steps. Sometimes it really is that simple. You don't gotta do vast, broad changes in one moment. Take it step by step and gradually build the chances and the risks that you take and keep them purposeful. Okay, my bad. Back on topic. When purpose is getting the best out of our motivations and drive, we receive so much more satisfaction and fulfillment, which studies have shown to have a greater effect on our productivity and therefore our earning potential. The second thing about purpose is the positive impact we have when we're walking in it. I haven't met many people who haven't found that their purpose is uniquely tied to impacting somebody else. Whether that's a singular person, a group of people, a community. Purpose doesn't party alone. When you're walking in purpose, how you view yourself begins to change. You start to have the bigger picture in view. You'll begin to realize that what you do is contributing to something larger than yourself. And that may not be something you're thinking about if your sole goal is to chase a check. Our third point is focused on health and well-being. A clear sense of purpose can help give meaning and direction to what you're doing. Having the comfort of clarity can be a great tool in dealing with anxiety, frustration, uncertainty, and that feeling of being overwhelmed. Studies have shown that people with a sense of purpose are more inclined to make decisions that benefit their well-being, such as exercising, eating better, being intentional about their rest, and all of that will impact someone's quality of life. That's not a benefit you always get when you're chasing a check. If we're not careful, sometimes chasing a check comes at the expense of our own well-being. There are plenty of instances where we can work a job or chase a check doing work and tasks that we're not all that passionate about or truly care about, which in turn can lead to our bodies piling on stress, thus raising our cortisol levels. And now we're overstressing ourselves out to chase a check. Now, don't get me wrong. There will be seasons and times where we're just gonna be stressed out, whether we're chasing a check or chasing purpose. That's just life. But walking in purpose can unlock passion that can produce a healthy stress that can align with our health goals for ourselves. Our next case for purpose comes in when we consider work-life harmony. Consider this: when you're chasing the check, do you find yourself looking at the time, counting down the hours, the minutes and seconds till you're done, until you're able to clock out and leave work for the day? Have you ever noticed that despite some of your best efforts, you can sometimes bring some of that stress with you? That's not by accident. Going back to our previous point, the stress that we feel from chasing a check can have such lasting effects and ramifications that we can spend all of our after hours trying to recover just so that we can add on more stress when we get back to work. Compared to being purpose-driven, you have a greater chance of finishing the day satisfied, happy with the work that you've done and the meaning it has, instead of just being happy to leave work. If we start from a place of purpose, we have a tendency to be more purposeful in all areas of our life. We get purposeful with our personal time, our hobbies, how we nurture relationships, and more, because we're usually not bringing the bad stress home from work. Now, it's not always like this, but I promise you, you'll find yourself coming home more inspired from the work that you've done instead of worn out from the work that you've done. Work-life harmony and purpose are complementary partners. And for our last point, being purposeful is a unique mark and trait of the Generation Z employee. Now, throughout all working generations, there's always been this desire to find meaning and purpose in the work that they're doing. But Generation Z? Yeah, bruh, they ain't playing. There are stories and articles where this Generation Z crew is being intentional and finding ways to generate profit from pursuing their purpose. Whether it's through content creation, creating their own business, getting into tech, investing, providing goods and services, whatever. This is one of the most purposeful generations when it comes to work. And it's no different for those that are working a 9 to 5. This generation has seen my generation, the millennial generation, Generation X, and the boomers break our necks, putting in work at a job that we don't fully care about and not really seeing the full return on our efforts. And they have taken some mental notes and they are doing exactly what's required of them and nothing more if it's not aligned with their purpose. Some people in the workforce call it quiet quitting. Others may call it being lazy. I personally find it to be smart. I've worked with this generation for years in the college setting, leading teams of Generation Z students. And believe me when I tell you, contrary to popular belief, they are here and ready to work, but they're not going to give you more than what was agreed upon. And if you want more from them, you have to be willing to give more of yourself. That can come in the form of compensation, opportunities, mentorship, and looking at your own mission and vision at your job and seeing how you can make it more purposeful in the day-to-day tasks. Because I have to say it again, Generation Z ain't playing with us, y'all. And I, for one, am here for it. Thanks for checking out this video. Remember to be purposeful in what you do today. Now, if you like this video, we have other videos that you might find helpful, so check those out. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.